You know that feeling when you use an app and it just feels alive, right? Where the buttons kind of pulse when you tap them and lists just glide so smoothly? Well, that's not an accident. That is the magic of great animation. And today, we're going to unlock the absolute easiest way to bring that magic into your own Flutter apps. All right, so let's get into it. There's a huge difference between an app that just, works and one that feels fantastic to use. And that secret ingredient? It's feedback. It's how your app talks back to the user. We're about to go on a journey from a static, kind of silent interface to one that's dynamic and super responsive. Just look at these two buttons here. On the left, yeah, it's a button, it's functional, but it's totally lifeless. You tap it and something happens somewhere else. But on the right, oh, that button talks back. It grows a little, maybe the color gets a bit deeper for just a split second. That little bit of feedback, it's not just for looks, it's confirming your action. It makes the whole app feel more polished, more intuitive, and honestly, just more trustworthy. So the big question is, how do we get that magic? Now, if you're thinking this means we have to dive into complicated animation controllers and tickers and this whole mess of listeners, well, I've got some really, really good news for you. There is a much, much simpler way to get these beautiful results without all that boilerplate code.
You see, the secret is a core concept that's built right into the Flutter framework, and it makes these kinds of animations incredibly easy to do. It's a perfect example of what Flutter is all about, helping you build beautiful UIs fast.
And the secret is called implicit animation. Okay, think about it like this. A normal light switch is just on or off, right? Click. It's a sudden static change. But an implicit animation, that's like a dimmer switch. You don't just flick it on, you tell it to go from, say, 10% brightness up to 100%. And the dimmer itself smoothly handles that transition. Well, Flutter does that exact same thing, but for your widgets. And here's the best part. It literally boils down to two simple steps. Step 1, you change a property's value. That's it. Maybe a variable for color changes from blue to green, or a width variable goes from 100 to 200. Step 2, well, there is no step 2. You just rebuild the widget, and Flutter sees the before and after values, and it automatically beautifully animates the whole thing. It does all the heavy lifting for you. So that's the concept. Pretty cool, right? But what's the actual tool we use to make this happen? Well, for the huge majority of these simple, powerful UI animations, you really only need one widget. It's like the Swiss Army knife in your Flutter toolpin. And that hero widget is the animated container. The best way to think about it is this. It's exactly like the regular container that you already use all the time, but it has this one amazing superpower. Whenever a property like its color, or its width, or its padding changes, it doesn't just snap to the new value, it smoothly animates the transition over a time you get to pick. Now, what's really cool is how you control this animation. You're not writing complex timelines, you're just setting a few properties. The most important one is duration. That's how you tell Flutter how long the animation should take. Something like 200 milliseconds is usually perfect for snappy UI feedback. Then you've got the curve. Now, this is the fun part. This is the animation's personality. Do you want it to ease in nice and slow? There's a curve for that. Do you want it to overshoot a little and then bounce back, like curves.bounceout? You can do that. And of course, you've got all the properties you already know, like color, width, and padding. Just change any of them and boom, the animation kicks off. Okay, so the animated container is an absolutely amazing tool. But, like any tool, a real pro knows its limits. They know when to use it and when to maybe reach for something else. It's fantastic, but it's not the solution for every single animation problem. So let's quickly go over the rules of the road. So here's the bottom line. Use implicit animations for simple, one-off state changes. A button getting bigger when you press it, a card expanding to show a little more info, an item fading in. It's perfect for that direct user feedback. But if you need something to loop forever, or you need complex physics-based stuff, like, say, a character jumping in a game, that's when you're going to need to step up to Flutter's more powerful explicit animations. And before you start coding away, let's talk about a few common traps people fall into. Number 1, by a long shot, is forgetting to actually change the state. You have to remember the animated container animates a change. If you have a variable for color, but you don't wrap the change inside set state, the widget won't rebuild and your animation is just never going to happen. Also, try to keep your duration short and sweet for UI feedback. Anything over a second can start to feel laggy or even broken. And maybe don't animate like a dozen properties at once. It can be a little jarring instead of helpful. So we've covered the what, the how, and even the what not to do. And when you really look at it all, once you get that it's all driven by simple state changes, you realize just how incredibly easy the entry point is. It all comes down to one key thing. And that key thing is this number, 1. That is the number of new widgets you need to learn to start creating these beautiful, fluid animations today. Just one. The animated container. All that magic we talked about, the responsive buttons, the smooth transitions, it all starts right there. It is that accessible. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. You now have the secret, you have the tool, and you know the rules of the road. The only thing left to do is build something cool. So look at your own apps, your own projects, and ask yourself this one question. What are you going to bring to life first?